All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahaha, Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to do a lesson on it, showing you who the beast man is. When you watch the movie Planet of the Apes, and you hear a reference about Esau, Edom, okay, he is called the beast man. Okay, and there's a reason why he is called the beast man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video and continue from here. But before I play the video, I'm just going to say this, this is going to be fair use. Okay, this is fair use before I play the video. I am not using this video to make money. Neither is this video being used for monetary gain. This video is being used for edification and for educational purposes only.
Took a little time off not too long ago and went to visit some buddies down in LA, and they took me to this restaurant where they use awesome quality pieces of meat and they give you an awesome experience. So here's what we did. We went with the tomahawk. The price tag is outstanding, but wow, was it good. So I tried to replicate it here, and here we go. First, we start off with this beautiful tomahawk, and we put some roasted garlic inside to make this fajita seasoning stick. Now that you got this beautiful heart here, we're gonna open it up and fill it up. Now, what they did is give us an option of whether we wanted veggies or other items on the inside. We went for the veggies. Here we go. And we keep on going. So guys, we're wondering, what makes a steak cost $1,000? Here you go. Guys, it's filled with goodies. On the exterior, it's gonna be wrapped with a delicious Oaxaca cheese. And it's not just one, but two big balls. It's gonna go ahead and be put all the way around right after we sear it. First, we're gonna secure it with these skewers. With these skewers right here, there we go. Just take it onto the hot grill and let that sizzle begin. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Here, let's flip that over. Let's check out the sear. Perfect, that's what we want. Grab it, move right over this way. All right, and guys, just to let you know, it was 6 of us, and we still had a little bit left over at the end. So it wasn't a waste. And it was great. It was delicious. We're going to make it even better here. Let's try and wrap this around without ripping it. Let's see if we can keep it together all the way. We're going to go ahead and turn. And they did do this in front of us right at the table. They didn't have the same equipment, but we're doing with what we have. So here we go, guys. Check it out. I'm giving the show that we paid for. And you're watching it for free. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and grab this. Come right into... Of course, we're going to bread it, so we go into the flour first. That way our eggs can stick, and right after that, you know the rest, little panko. So grab that, shake off the excess, and bring that here. All right, let's go ahead and get our egg wash all over it, nice and covered. And just to let you know, we're going to do a double breading, so it can be nice and crispy. I think that's what they did at the restaurant. Here we go, let's dip it. Let's go ahead and cover it nice and golden. Go and into the panko. Guys, as soon as this is done, we're going straight where? Of course, to the hot oil. Yep, steak, tomahawk, fried, delicious. Here we go. Give it a shot. Get this nice and covered. And hopefully it doesn't come apart. So 1, 2, 3, let's go up. It is heavy. That's a big boy right there. It's about 10 pounds, guys. Here we go. Oh, baby. Here we go. And the weight, be careful. Alright. Get this nice and colored. Get that veggies melty. Sear it crispy and golden, just like this. Now let's let it dry on the rack. Quickly. Oh, baby. There we go. I need a little help. Alright, let that drip dry just a bit. In the meantime, let's get our tortillas and the rest of our things ready. You heard right. We're gonna have the best tomahawk tacos you've ever had. Here we go. At least I am. Right now. Let's go and cut into it. Right here. Again, guys, this is a meal to share. You're gonna love it. And if you want to know where I got this, just hit me up in the messages. I'll let you know. I'll send them straight your way. Let them know Oscar sent you.
You can see the meat is clearly uncooked. It's definitely a lot of red in the middle. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue playing it.
There we go. Getting a little piece here. And guys, you're gonna have the best tacos ever. Oh boy. Okay, let's grab that.
There's definitely some pink in the middle, as you can see right there. So the meat is not fully cooked.
Bring it onto here. Got our nice red fajita seasoning. Gonna add a little green guacamole salsa, just like this. Some fresh avos. The coriander, cilantro, and a squeeze of lime. That's all it needs. Nothing else. Let's take a bite. Looking at about $30 right here, guys.
All right, so I mean, you saw the video there, you know, and you see this is how Esau likes to eat his food, you know, because you see the way Jacob cooks his food is different from how Edomites cook their food. You see, when Edomites cook their food, they like a little bit of red or pink in the center of their meat. And that's, you know, that would be considered as the blood. Now, the Holy Scriptures speak about how you're not supposed to eat food with the blood in it. Just real quick, before I go to Genesis 25. Okay. Let's do this. Let's type in KJV and then ye shall eat. Hold on. Okay, ye shall eat no manner of BLOOD. Okay, so let's read this in Leviticus. So I typed in KJV. Okay, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 7, verse 26. Okay, and this is one of the laws which the Lord have given to us and commanded us. You know, basically how basically the Lord gave us the blueprint on how we're supposed to eat our food, you know, and basically how our food is supposed to be cooked before it is consumed. Okay. And of course, you know, you got chapters like Leviticus 11 that goes into the foods that are clean and unclean, you know, and then you got you know, you got precepts like this, Leviticus 7 verse 26, that gives you a hint as to how your food should be before it enters your body, especially if it comes from an animal that is lawful to eat. So right here in Leviticus 7 verse 26, moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood. Okay. And that means, you know, like if an animal dies and then, you know, when you go to cut it open, you're not supposed to take the blood that's, you know, leaking or dripping out of the animal And you're not supposed to drink the blood. You're not supposed to eat it. You're not supposed to eat the meat with the blood on it. Okay. And this is why, whether it be of fowl or of beasts, in any of your dwellings. Let's see if he gives the reason why. And, please excuse me for the ads here. We do live in the devil's society. Okay, whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. You see that? So the Lord made it clear. You're not supposed to eat anything with blood in it. Okay? Because I'm trying to think. There's another precept too where the Lord makes it more clear. Okay, go back. Let me see. Leviticus. I think Leviticus 17 verse 10. Let's check that out. Because the Lord tells you that, okay, in the book of Leviticus, the Lord tells you that the life of the creature is in the blood. So let me see if I can find that real quick. Bear with me for one moment. You're not supposed to eat food with blood in it. Let's see, Leviticus chapter 17, and let's go down to verse 10. Okay. Okay, so Leviticus chapter 17 verse 10. And whatsoever man that be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you. Now the strangers that sojourn among you are talking about Israelites, okay? Because again, the first covenant was only made with the nation of Israel, which are the Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. So these strangers are talking about Israelites. These strangers here are talking about Israelites, that were living amongst other nations, but they went to Jerusalem. They proved their heritage, and they got a inheritance amongst the people. So these strangers here are talking about Israelites. Okay, so it says, and whatsoever man there be of, and Leviticus 17 verse 10, and whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, it says, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Now verse 11 right here tells you why. The Lord tells you why right here in the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter, why you're not supposed to eat any manner of blood. Okay? For the life of the flesh is in the blood. So the blood is like the life force, the driving force that drives and basically helps to keep us moving, living, breathing. Blood is mostly made up of water, and our bodies are mostly made up of water, you see. So verse 11, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. So you see, the life of the creature is in the blood. Okay? And the Lord has given it to us upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. An atonement for what? Sins. Because remember, ever since the fall of Adam, we have been reincarnated into sinful flesh. So the life of the creature was also given to the creature for Israel to make atonement for their sins. Okay? It says for the life of the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. You see, it is the blood. And why is it the blood that maketh an atonement for our souls? Because the life of the creature is in the blood. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25, and then let's go to the comment board. Genesis 25. Okay. So, Genesis 25 goes into when Jacob and Esau were first born on the planet. Okay. Now, to make a long story short, Rebekah, the wife of Isaac, was pregnant with Jacob and Esau. And basically, the two children, they fought against one another in the womb of Rebekah. And there was so much turmoil going on in the womb of Rebekah that Rebekah had to go to a prophet. She had to inquire of a prophet to the Lord as to why there was so much rumbling going on in her stomach. Because, there was a whole bunch of punching and kicking going on. And, the two children were basically going at it in the womb of Rebekah. Even though, it's 100% safe to say that Jacob was winning. Our forefather Jacob was winning because, it's Jake, man. The Lord told Rebekah one people will be stronger than the other. So, Jacob was probably, punching Esau he's probably punching Esau in the nose, kicking him in the chin, probably hitting him with a couple of right hooks. Esau, being the Edomite he was, probably grabbed Jacob by his neck, headbutting him. Doing a bunch of headbutting, probably biting him, trying to bite him on the arm and shit, even though he had no teeth. Just all that shit, all right? But, okay, there came a point where Rebekah gave birth to Jacob and Esau, okay? Rebekah gave birth to Jacob and Esau. And the boys grew. Jacob was a plain man who dwelt in tents, and Esau was a man of the field, a cunning hunter, if you will. So like it tells you right here in Genesis 25, verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage. Now, they don't really go into detail about this pottage in this particular verse, but we know that this pottage was probably, it was raw, okay? It was raw meat, that Jacob was basically sodding some raw meat, because, when Jake get hungry, he gets creative. So he was sodding some raw meat, right? And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage." Now back then, the laws, statutes, and commandments were not written on stones or on scrolls. They were still oral back then. Now, the Bible also teaches you that when your children reach a particular age, namely when they become adults, which is usually when they hit puberty, right? which is usually around the age of 12, 13, 14 years old, you're supposed to teach your children about the laws, statutes, and commandments. So Jacob and Esau, which, they were taught, the laws orally. So Esau knew he was not supposed to eat raw meat. But did he care? The answer is no. He did not care. Okay? His excuse was he was faint. And basically he was at the point to where he was about to die. Which, and believe you me when I tell you this, if you're starving to the point to where you're about to die, you're not going to have much energy to walk, let alone run. Well, when you're starving to the point to where you're about to die, your body is so malnutritioned that you're unable to move. Okay, you're unable to move. Well, or you have very, very little strength to move. You're not going to be able to run. Okay. You're not going to be able to run. You see? So Esau's excuse for eating raw meat was that he was at the point to where he was about to die, right? So, and Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage." And let me remind you that Esau is the progenitor of the self-proclaimed white race, which you see today. And that starts with the so-called global elites who call themselves Rothschilds or Rockefellers, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. These are your Edomites today, and they rule the world in wickedness. So, and Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore," come on, you know how Edomites talk. "Okay, can I have just a little morsel? My stomach hurt, bro." So, let's see. Esau said, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage." Therefore was his name Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?" And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave. Now, it didn't say that Jacob had finished cooking the meat. It didn't say that. It said that as soon as Esau, swore out of his own mouth, right then and there, while the meat still had blood on it, blood in it, right? Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. It said pottage of lentils. So think of it as your modern day chili, like some chilies. So some examples of lentils will be like beans, rice, things of that nature, right? So basically it was like chili. What Jacob was making was kind of like chili, But the problem was that the food was not cooked all the way. He still had to cook the meat. So then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So you see, Esau basically sold his birthright for some bloody chili, right? But then self-proclaimed white people will turn around and say that they have the highest IQ on the planet. They have the highest IQ on the planet, but they're spraying chemicals in the air, the same air that they have to breathe, but they have the highest IQ on the planet. But anyways, that's neither here nor there, right? Let's go to the comment board. Okay. Let me just close this out. Let's go to the comment board now. Check this out. Oh man, see, it does that sometimes. So, excuse me. Okay, I don't really care about the ad. Okay. Okay, so let's check out some of the comments here. Not sure what is worse, the preparation or the price, right? See, whoever buys it is as dumb as the guy who prepares it, right? I wonder why the camera cut off and we didn't see a reaction of him chewing it and swallowing it. Okay, let's see. Having money is great. Having money and no brains has got to suck. So, people's making fun of this guy because they can clearly see that the tomahawk that he had prepared was not fully cooked. Okay, it was still raw in the middle, but he still ate the shit anyway because he's an Edomite. Okay, arrest this guy. This preparation is a crime. Okay, the meat is raw. Okay, 414. Okay, 144. Call halayim la alahayanawa Yahweh bahasham Yahweh Shai. Okay, at 1 minute in, okay, you can buy a cow with that amount of money. Gordon Ramsay.
When a shopping cart smashed my headlight, we worried we'd have to fight to get paid for such a small claim.
And life would revolve around. Took a little time off. Not.
Okay, Q Gordon Ramsay. Okay, it's fucking raw. So the meat was still raw, but he proceeded to eat it. Cannot possibly $975 better than my pan cooked steak at home. No way. That poor steak deserved better. If you spend $1,000 for a steak, that's proof you have too much money and zero common sense. Well, remember, this is Esau's world, okay? And in this kingdom, Edomites are the most wealthiest and most richest people on the planet. So of course they got money. Of course they have money to, just blow, just money to blow in the air because this is their kingdom, They have all the money in the world to just, throw it away on whatever, These are the same Edomites who can, get angry at a game, take their console, smash it into a $1,250 flat screen TV, and then as soon as they cool off, go down to Walmart or Best Buy and buy another $1,200 flat screen TV because he got the money to do that. You see, these are them same people. They'll get in their car. They might drive around for about 4 hours. Stop by a gas station, fill up their tank completely, drive around for another 4 hours, go back home. Open up a 6-pack of Coors Light, chug it because they got money like that. Okay, this is their kingdom. So it's a light thing for them to spend $1,000 on a tomahawk steak that's somewhat cooked but still raw in the middle, because this is their kingdom. And you know what? It probably wasn't nasty to him. He probably ate that whole fucking thing, bro. That ass serious. Okay, he probably ate that whole fucking thing. But okay, a great way to ruin a tomahawk. Didn't even warm up the tortilla. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, let's read this comment right here. Raw AF. AF is an acronym for as fuck. Raw as fuck with a hard pre-made tortilla that they just removed from the package. I like how he started to remove that first cut until he saw how raw it was. So he went to the smaller outside cut outside cut in, a failed attempt to hide that garbage. What an embarrassment. I really blame social media though. It has created this trend of big visuals over substance. So you get trash like this that is trying to wow with a crazy preparation with no thought to how it won't actually work. So people could see that the food was completely uncooked, okay? And he pretty much ate that whole thing because more than likely he's an Edomite, okay? You know, a Israelite would bite into that and he would make a sour face like, ugh. I mean, like, because me personally, if I was biting into some raw meat, there's no way I would eat that shit. I would throw the whole fucking thing away, okay? Because, yeah, my food's got to be fully cooked. You know, whenever I eat at a restaurant and I do decide to order a steak, I always tell them I want the shit all the way to fuck cooked. Like, you understand me? You know, that shit got to be cooked all the fucking way. But, yeah, I don't want this video to go on any longer. I'll pray and hope this video was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom. It's on to the next one.